Hey, welcome to another video. Listen, research shows that couples that have the most long-lasting, thriving relationships have a deep, emotional, strong connection, right? They are emotionally connected. But here's the thing, many couples start off with a really nice, healthy, strong emotional connection. And because they stop being self-aware, they stop really paying attention to their relationship, and a number of other reasons, the emotional connection can just start to dissolve. And so in this video, I want to give you 7 signs that you can look out for to determine whether your relationship is emotionally disconnected. Now, if you can identify 3 out of the 7 things that I mentioned, then yes, it is highly likely that you have an emotionally disconnected relationship, and it is definitely time to start to do something about it. Because what we don't want is this connection to go much wider and create this big gulf between you that is so much harder to work through and bring that connection back. You know what I say? It's so much easier to stoke a fire that is going down than to have to relight a fire that has completely gone out. If you've got 3 of them, it's time to do some work. Maybe one of the most obvious of the 7 is minimal communication. If you guys have gone from having lots of open communication, communicating frequently, feeling like you can tell each other everything and anything, and now you're in a place where you barely talk, there really isn't that much communication going on, there's not much freedom of expression, you guys are not making time to talk, yeah, this is a really strong sign that there is an emotional disconnection, because one of the ways that we do connect is through communication. And if we haven't got that going on, then that is just going to begin to build a gulf between us. Number 2, this is lack of empathy, and it might be from your side that you're feeling like you just don't have that same sense of empathy towards your partner. You don't feel that sense of wanting to support them so much, even in the difficult time. And maybe there's just this lack of understanding. You're not going out of your way to try and understand them, to get an understanding of their perspective. And this is vice versa. Maybe it's your partner towards you. But if you're sensing that there is just this general lack of empathy between you, then yeah, that's a sign of emotional disconnection. 3, the frequency of the arguments is ramping up. Maybe due to the lack of understanding between you, but you're finding that those arguments, those points of conflict are happening almost every day, and it's exhausting you. And sometimes it's not big, massive arguments. Sometimes you're just finding that you're just biting at each other, right? Just these small snipes at each other. And it's really starting to wear at you. It's a sign of emotional disconnection, particularly if you're having these arguments and you're not finding any points of resolution. So you may be having conflicts and you're like, okay, there's a lot here. But if you're not actually getting to the point where you're coming back together and saying, hey, how can we work this out? And you're figuring out your conflicts and you're finding points of resolution, then that's a problem. Number 4, this is the most obvious one, but it does mean that you have to be present and aware. And it is that you are physically together, but you're not together, right? You're in the same space, but you could be in different planets. You know, there's just this sense of distance between you. And you can feel it. Maybe you felt it for a while, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. And, you know, you hear some couples talking about them being together but feeling lonely or feeling alone, and maybe that's what you really sense. And it could be also that the atmosphere between you feels tense, it feels awkward, again going back to that not really having much to say with each other. But when you're with other people, you're fine, you're comfortable, you can enjoy silences and have lots of conversation. The enjoying the silences between you two just now feels awkward. You can feel the distance. If you can feel the distance, it's there. and it's time to do something about it. Number 5, you found that you don't have much shared meaning anymore or shared interests anymore. Things that you guys can come together and enjoy together, or, maybe sports, maybe hobbies, maybe things that you like to watch together on the TV. There used to be those things that almost became like tradition for you two, that you always did. It was this point of interest for you, something that you shared that was special between you two. Those moments or times in your lives have gone, then that would be a red flag. It would be an indicator to me that there is an emotional disconnection, because couples who really have strong connection will find things that they have shared interest about, things that they can talk about and enjoy together, adventures, trips, sports, hobbies, all these things. And like I said, maybe just your favorite TV show, cooking together, could be anything, but something that you're both interested in that just creates that oneness between you, right? Brings in some fun, some energy into your relationship. Number 6 kind of links with number 2, and it is just a general lack of understanding. You just don't get each other anymore. Your perspectives, how you view the world, your point of view seems to just keep causing clashes. You don't understand your partner. You don't know what they're going through. You can't understand how their mind works. And you feel like it's the same for you. Maybe you're feeling like you are always misunderstood. Even when your intentions are in the right place, they're taken incorrectly. It's a red flag. It's a sign that there is an emotional disconnection that is starting to brew and is growing wider and wider. And lastly, number 7 is that the physical intimacy between you has died a death. Maybe it's not died a death, but it's definitely reduced. And I don't want you to straight away go to sex. Even just that affection between you, physical affection, verbal affection, the flirting, the touches, the hugs, the kisses, the resting the arms on the legs, and all of that stuff has gone. And then, of course, if your sex life has drastically reduced, and you can't honestly, hand on heart, say that it's because of your schedules, but now there just seems to be a sense of resistance. Maybe you're just not getting that feeling to want to be intimate. That is a sign, particularly from the female side, who is more likely to be driven sexually by how she feels emotionally. But either way, if there is an emotional breakdown, it's definitely going to translate to a breakdown in the bedroom. And oftentimes, many couples will spend a lot of energy trying to build up their physical connection without really addressing the fact that their emotional connection isn't quite there. And that's why their sex lives has diminished, right? So they are your 7: minimal communication, lack of empathy, frequent argument, feeling distant. Now you've got separate interests, lack of understanding, and a reduction in physical intimacy, affection, and verbal affection. They are the signs. Now, like I said before, if you can identify with 3 of these points, if 3 of these points resonates with you, it is time to do some work. Do not allow this to go any further. And please know that it is something that you can rebuild. Absolutely, you can build those connections again, even deeper and stronger than before. But the first place to start is to be honest with yourself. And that's oftentimes the hardest thing, to really have an honest look at your relationship and own up to the fact that maybe it's not as deeply connected as you would hope. But as long as you're honest about that and you accept the truth, it now puts you in a position to do something about it, which I definitely advise that you do. As usual, it'd be great to hear from you. Put your thoughts in the comments. If you're new here and you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you would like help to bring radical transformation to your serious relationship or marriage, I would love you to start by booking a free 30-minute breakthrough call with me. The link is in the description. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next video.